Today marks the 36th anniversary of the death of legendary Beatles band member John Lennon. The Beatles may have never had the opportunity to play in Israel, but until today, they remain one of the most beloved bands in the Jewish state. Israel even boasts a John Lennon peace forest, which was planted by both Jewish and Arab children on a plot of land outside of Tzfat. Now, believe it or not, the Beatles weren't always loved by Israel. In fact, in the 1960s, the band was viewed as a corrupting influence. That is, until the beloved Israeli singer Naomi Shemer decided to re-adapt their music. Today, joining us in the studio is Dandan Galor, who is part of a musical duo who've made it their mission to celebrate the Beatles' influence on Israel. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hi.
So tell us first the name of your duo and a little bit more about your show. What kind of show is it? What makes it so special?
Okay, so we are Dandan and Jan. These are our names and the name of the band as well. And the show is about the Beatles, and it's also about Naomi Shemer that you've mentioned. It's the combination of both. Naomi Shemer, who's an Israeli poet, very, very important influence on Israel, is Israeli poet, singer, songwriter Naomi Shemer. She wrote Jerusalem of Gold, very many important songs in Israeli culture, and the Beatles, which we all know. So these two really so important and loved icons are combined in our show together.
Wow. Now, what inspired you to create this type of show?
Well, I guess just our love for both these artists. We grew up as Israelis on the songs, with the songs of Naomi Shemer. And, a little bit later, at the age of maybe 15 or 16, we discovered the Beatles. And that was another, wow, whew, English, beautiful songs, beautiful melodies. And Naomi Shemer, as you said, she kind of embraced their music with the famous song Let It Be, which on the same melody of Let It Be, she wrote the song Lu Yehi, which later on she changed the melody for, but that was exactly the base for what she wrote. So she was also influenced by them. Everybody were, even though they weren't allowed to come to Israel.
Okay, so let's check out some of this music, obviously. We want to get a taste.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I'd say it's alright. It's alright.
So it's beautiful, and everybody loves the Beatles. There's, I think anybody who hears these songs knows how to sing along with them, especially here in Israel. They're so loved. What kind of reaction have you gotten from people here in Israel, hearing you combine, both the Beatles and Naomi Shemer, who, in case our audience doesn't know, actually wrote and performed the famous song Jerusalem of Gold?
Well, we get really amazing reactions. Many people are, when they hear Naomi Shemer and the Beatles, it's like, okay. Or, okay, what's the connection between this and that? And then we have to tell them, you have to come and see the show to realize. And in the end of the show, many people approach us and say that, wow, they actually saw the connection. Because apart from what I've said before on Lu Yehi and Let It Be, it's like, it combines in our own, in our own lives, in our own culture, in our own association with Here Comes the Sun that we've just seen, and Or Ole Baboker, the light rising up in the morning, on one of her famous songs. So it's all, also the intros for the songs are really telling the story of what she did here, and at the same time the Beatles were there, and what happened until the end.
So it's really representing a time frame in world history, obviously, kind of the reflection of what's happening in Israel versus what was happening in the UK.
Exactly.
So, today, as I said, 36 years ago, we lost John Lennon in a very tragic way. And for people who loved the Beatles and loved his music, it was terrible. It was a huge tragedy. Now, how does it feel for you guys who perform Beatles on a daily basis to be remembering this day today?
Well, John Lennon is a great influence. Of course, the Beatles all are. John Lennon has this special thing of really going with his own thing, with his own truth the whole way. You know, if he's now for peace, then he's going on, you know, peace march, and he's going on demonstrations. If he's now into meditation, so he goes to India and does his meditation. If he's into the music, he's in the music. So he's really an inspiration for us. And we have a concert today that we're going to do special John Lennon, of course, with a few of his songs. And it's just his personality. His
and I
music.
understand that you like to do his voice, right, during your
yeah, John
concerts?
Lennon, he speaks like that, you know. He's got this British accent. He's saying, you know, meditation has made me a better person. And I wasn't such a bad person before.
Yeah, you see, you're the best. I think that's the best accent I've heard from an Israeli by far. So good job to you, kol hakavod. Now, you know, the show you're playing tonight. Where can we see you in the future if we're not able to make it to that concert?
Well,
tonight?
we have a Facebook page, of course, Dan Dan En Yan, which we mention our shows, and we, you know, we upload all kind of things that we record, that we think, and the shows and CDs that we put out. Everything is there. And yeah, we're more or less performing all around Israel.
Beautiful. So my final question for you is, why do you think Israeli music lovers connect so strongly to the Beatles? I mean, what is it about? I know the world loves the Beatles, but here in Israel, you know, the Beatles remains one of the top, most loved bands here until today.
You know, it's a great question. Why does the Beatles, or why have they become such a legend? Because, you know, they're a great band, but there are many other great bands as well. I don't know if to say specifically about Israel. I know that Israelis have a good taste for music, definitely. We appreciate good music, we appreciate good melodies, good harmonies. And also something in the combination of the Beatles is like in the song of Naomi Shemer, Ala dvash v'ala oketz, yeah, is the sting and the honey. It's like they have everything. John Lennon is the sting, you know, he's more the going inside and telling the cold truth in people's faces. And there's Paul McCartney with the beautiful love songs of the honey. It's something in the special combination between the four of them that made them so special. That's what we think.
Absolutely. Well, it was wonderful to have you, and you know, for our viewers who are interested in checking out more of this beautiful duo online, go to the website that he told us. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having us.